Thank you guys for joining me in this journey in which I decided to build a C++ game engine using the SDL library. Now, if you guys are watching this video for the first time, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. So, a couple of months ago, I decided I was going to build a game engine. My target was not to build a game or to build a game engine, but it was to learn how to do this and then in return teach you guys how to build this by your own. And what I'm trying to do right now is to finish this and start a video series where you and I will be able to implement this from scratch. So if you guys have never programmed something like this and you've dreamed to do something like this, we're gonna be starting this together and write all the whole bunch of code together. But this video I'm uploading right now is just to let you guys know where I am, what I've been doing, and you know, what kind of difficulty I'm facing. Maybe let you know how you can support me, you know, to interact with you so that you know that yeah, I'm still working on the project and this is where I am right now. So, and I've been uploading some video where I explain how I implemented some stuff in this game engine for right now in the state. And I've been talking in the previous video, for example, about the input handler, the event handler for, you know, keyboard stuff and, you know, all that kind of stuff you can imagine. I also talked about a video before the last one, talked about the player class, how my player is able to move. I also talked about the polymorphism, how I implemented my inheritance system in the game so that I could simply create object without having to reference to each class every time I have to create an object. Now, all those things are just things that we've been talking about, but if you guys want to know, I'll simply provide the link to this playlist in the description below so you could go there and check. Now, let's come back to this video itself. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I build my map system, so how I can paste a map, which what I use to draw this map, as you can see on the screen right here, because I'm using tile to do this, and I'm going to explain you in a couple of seconds how this works and how I can actually pass the information from tile into this game and render it on the screen. So before we get started, I also want to give you 2 seconds to be able to subscribe to Medical channel. 1, 2. Thank you for you guys who subscribe. Now let's get started. So this is my map class. So this is the header file of my map class. The map class is not so huge, you know, it simply has 2 public functions, the update and the render. I think the name of those methods are self-explanatory. I don't have to explain what they're doing. Update is, for example, when the camera moves, we also want to move the map according to the coordinate or the position of the player or whatever. And render, simply, you know, we render everything on the screen whenever the game loop restart. We render everything on the screen so that everything can move slightly and look great. Now we also have this function here which gives us no, I haven't used it right now, but I just decided to define it because it was important. You know, a map is defined by layers. A map has many layers. Like, for example, let me open tile right here. You see right here I have this map. This is only one layer, but I could decide to create another layer on top of this, which is going to be, for example, the background layer, or create another above this, which is going to be the object layer. That means, for example, in a game, you have to create the background layer. The player is not going to interact with the background layer, for example, but object layers, there the player is going to be colliding with those objects, interacting with those objects. That's why you can create a map with many layers. That's what I mean by what I define here, and that's why I have this vector which can take a lot of layers. But for now, all I have done is I'm able to load only one layer for the map, but I have to figure out another way to load more than one layer from the XML stuff. So just in case you want to know what I'm struggling with right now, but it's not a big deal. I've already found a solution to deal with that. And now we also have this layer class, which is an interface. It's a blueprint of how all class has to be defined. So like with the render and the update function, you know that we have different type of layer. We have the background layer, which only takes an image, for example, but it can still take tile. We have object layers, we have tile layers, and I just define this interface so that others can inherit from it and implement those two functions. And like for example, we have this tile layer. A tile layer is this kind of layer with these boxes like this where we can actually draw stuff, and those are tiled. And this is the idea of it. It simply create tiles, and and the background layer could be an image layer. That's why I also create this inheritance system, as you can see here. So tile layer inherit from layer. I could have created image layer or object layer, but for now I only use this tile layer. That's the idea. And I also need to define a tile set, a structure of tile set, because all those layers are built based on this tile set here, for example. And later when I want to parse this, I need to have some information about that tile set. Like for example, the tile size. Is it 32 by 32 or 16 by 16 pixel, and all that kind of stuff. And how many columns or rows does the tile has, because if I want to parse, I need to go and search inside of this guy here the exact image I want and put it on the screen. That's why I need to collect some information about the tile, and then about the tile set, then use them in the parser. And the parser is the next guy I'm gonna show you. So as I said, this guy is pretty simple. A layer simply has this two-dimensional matrix. So it's a two-dimensional matrix, as you know, because our screen right here is a two-dimensional matrix. It's divided by a box of 32 by 32 pixel, and each tile is 32 by 32 pixel, and we have all those boxes here. That's why we can reference to it as being a map, and each value in this vector right here, in this matrix right here, represent a box of 32 by 32, which the value represent the tile set ID in this tile set right here. For example, if I show you this tile set here, I can open it, doesn't matter. Now for this tile set right here is referenced by the ID. This is a tile set number 5, number 6, and when I put this here, I'm gonna open the XML file so you can see. Let me go and open the project folder, card block, game stuff, and this and that. So here, for example, so I'm gonna open this. This is this open. So I am opening with code block so you could see. Now you see we have 0 everywhere. Where we have 0, there is no tile, so we can't print anything there. But each number here represents the ID of a spread of a tile right here. And when I take those numbers in my parser, then I simply I make a simple algorithm that I created to calculate the value, the exact position of that object here on this map, and then I could hold it and print it on the screen. And this is the idea of it. And here on the top, since this is an XML file, I use the tiny XML to be able to do all these things. The tiny XML is an open source small XML parser that was built by someone, I don't even know. So I just downloaded it and added it into my project, and I was able to use it to parse my map. I'm going to show you how I did it in a couple of seconds. And let me open my map.c++. Yeah, so there is a lot in there. The map.c++, I haven't shown you the map.h. So the map.h, it only takes 3 functions right now. The first one is the parse map. We simply take the file name and just parse the file. And we have the tile layers, the parser tile layers. This guy is used to parse tile layers. I could have created something like parse image layer, parse object layer. So this is just to let you know how I am thinking about this, and this is for parsing the tile set. So when you see the XML file here, it takes some important stuff. Like for example, we have a map, and a map can have many layers. So you can have many layers down here, but for now we only have one. And there is some important things, like for example, this tile set here. This is the tile set file that we create in our project here, and it's stored. Let me show you. This is the tile set. What am I? Yeah, this is the tile set here, tile set file, and the tile set image is this one. You see, we have the map, we have the tile set, and we have the tile set image. Those 3 are used to render everything on the screen. So I could go in my tile set, take some information. Let me open that tile set so you could see. So this is the tile set. There's nothing complicated inside. It simply takes the source image, and the source image, as I showed you here, was this guy here, for example. And then I can simply open this, take this information about the tile set. The width and the height sometimes can be important, but we also have some additional information here which are important, like the tile width, the tile height, which is the tile size, which is 32 by 32. We have the tile count. Those information were important for me because I use them to calculate the exact position of a tile in this tile set, and this is how I did it. So let me go to the parse.php.cpp. What am I talking about? What's wrong with me? You know, I often develop stuff with PHP. That's why I'm talking about that. So now this is how we use the tiny XML. I just define a tiny XML document. Then I load my map. And then what I do is I get the root element. What I mean by root element is this. This is the root element. This is the XML tag. And then we have this map, which is the root element. And in that root element, I'm going to be getting children's and information about it. Like, for example, the width of my map. My map has 50/20 boxes, the matrix. You see, that's the idea. And I need those information, the tile width, the tile height of that map, because I need those information to be able to parse them correctly. Now this is where I parse my tile set. As I showed you, I also take some information about the tile set. Now I create it in such a way that I could simply, because it's possible to use more than one tile set for a map, but for now I haven't added that property. And later, if I want to do this, it's going to be easy for me because I have a loop here in which I select all tile set and parse them, so I could simply parse them and go further and without struggling. And I take the source, which is the file, the PNG file, and then, you know, parse. I just parse the tile set with the parse tile set function down there. So I don't want to get deep into this because I'm going to be explaining this by writing the code. I just want you to know how I actually come to this idea, and this is simply what I have done here, and just wanted to show you. I don't want to be too long in this video, and you know, I'm gonna be starting this and we're gonna be doing this together so that you will be able to do this by your own. So thank you again, guys, for watching videos on Medico channel. I want to mention that you have right there on the screen my Patreon account. You guys can support me, and you know, with something, you know, it's really mean the world. It really mean a lot for me if you guys can go out there and support me. I'm not begging for money, just want to make this clear. I'm telling you guys, hey, you can support me, you can be a part of this. Have a nice day or a nice night or whatever. Ciao.
Prouve le contraire si l'on dit de toi que t'es nul.